Hey guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. So today is January. Okay, we're off to a great start. Today is January 19th of the Bible in a year, and yesterday, in case you missed it, a lot happened. So basically Joseph, which is the son of Jacob, which is now, his name is now Israel, his brothers tried to kill him by throwing him into a well, but they thought that would be too much work and that they would get caught. So instead they decided to sell him to these trader guys or whatever that were walking by. Well, the trader guys wound up selling him to the Pharaoh's head officer guy or whatever. So we're not really sure what's happening. We're probably gonna find out today. And then Judah, one of Jacob's other sons, who's also now Israel, he actually slept with his daughter-in-law because she pretended to be a prostitute, and so whenever she pretended to be a prostitute, she got Judah to sleep with her, and now she's pregnant, and he was gonna kill her, but then he was like, oh, I'm not gonna kill you because it's my kid, and honestly I should have gave you a son anyways, which I don't know. Also, Jesus healed a guy that was blind and deaf, and he also cursed people because they were like, if you're the son of Jesus, give us a sign, because they were all like, oh, well, you're not actually the son of Jesus, you're a demon, only demons can cast out demons. And Jesus was like, okay, that doesn't even make any sense, because if I was a demon and I was casting out demons, then why would, that doesn't even make any sense, because then I'm fighting with myself. So what are you even saying? And they're like, we don't care, then give us a sign. And Jesus was like, if you want a sign that I'm the son of God, he's like, you know what, you're cursed. Everybody's cursed. I don't care. Everybody's cursed. And it's basically where we're at. So now we are on Genesis chapter 39 verse 1 through 41 verse 16, and we're gonna have a dance party till we find the verse. Dance party while 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 we find. Dance party while we find the verse. 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 Okay. So, Genesis. When Joseph was taken to Egypt by the Ishmaelite traders, he was purchased by Potiphar, an Egyptian officer. Potiphar was captain of the guard for Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. The Lord was with Joseph, so he succeeded in everything he did as he served in the home of his Egyptian master. The Potiphar noticed this and realized that the Lord was with Joseph, giving him success in everything he did. This pleased Potiphar, so he soon made Joseph his personal attendant. He put him in charge of his entire household and everything he owned. From the day Joseph was put in charge of his master's household and property, the Lord began to bless Potiphar's household for Joseph's sake. All his household affairs ran smoothly and his crops and livestock flourished. So Potiphar gave Joseph complete administrative responsibility over everything he owned. With Joseph there, he didn't worry about a thing except what kind of food to eat. Joseph was a very handsome and well-built young man, and Potiphar's wife soon began to look at him lustfully. Come and sleep with me, she demanded, but Joseph refused. Look, he told her, my master trusts me with everything in this entire household. No one here has more authority than I do. He has held back nothing from me except you, because you are his wife. How could I do such a wicked thing? It would be a great sin against God. So she kept putting pressure on Joseph day after day, but he refused to sleep with her, and he kept out of her way as much as possible. One day, however, no one else was around when he went in to do his work. She came and grabbed him by his cloak, demanding, come on, sleep with me. Joseph tore himself away, but he left his cloak in her hand as he ran from the house. When she saw that she was holding his cloak and he had fled, she called out to her servants. Soon, all the men came running. Look, she said, my husband has brought this Hebrew slave here to make fools of us. He came into my room to rape me, but I screamed. When he heard me scream, he ran outside and got away, but he left his cloak behind with me. She kept the cloak with her until her husband came home. Then she told him her story. That Hebrew slave you brought into our house tried to come in and fool around with me, she said. But when I screamed, he ran outside, leaving his cloak with me. Potiphar was furious when he heard his wife's story about how Joseph had treated her. So he took Joseph and threw him into the prison where the king's prisoners were held, and there he remained. But the Lord was with Joseph in the prison and showed him his faithful love. And the Lord made Joseph a favorite with the prison warden. Before long, the warden put Joseph in charge of all the other prisoners and over everything that happened in the prison. The warden had no more worries because Joseph took care of everything. The Lord was with him and caused everything he did to succeed. Sometime later, Pharaoh's chief cupbearer and chief baker offended their royal master. Pharaoh became very angry with these two officials, and he put them in the prison where Joseph was, in the palace of the captain of the guard. They remained in prison for quite some time, and the captain of the guard assigned them to Joseph, who looked after them. While they were in prison, Pharaoh's cupbearer and baker each had a dream one night, and each dream had its own meaning. When Joseph saw them the next morning, he noticed that they both looked upset. Why do you look so worried today? He asked them. And they replied, we both had dreams dreams last night, but no one can tell us what they mean. Interpreting dreams is God's business, Joseph replied. Go ahead and tell me your dreams. So the chief cupbearer brought Joseph his dream first. In my dream, he said, I saw a grapevine in front of me. The vine had 3 branches that began to bud and blossom, and soon it produced clusters of ripe grapes. I was holding Pharaoh's wine cup in my hand, so I took clusters of grapes and squeezed the juice into the cup. Then I placed the cup in Pharaoh's hand. This is what the dream means, Joseph said. The 3 branches represent 3 days. Within 3 days, Pharaoh will lift you up and restore you to your position as his chief cupbearer. And please remember me and do me a favor when things go well for you. Mention me to Pharaoh, so he might let me out of this place, for I was kidnapped from my homeland, the land of the Hebrews, and now I'm here in prison, but I did nothing to deserve it. When the chief baker saw that Joseph had given the first dream such a positive interpretation, he said to Joseph, in my dream, there were 3 baskets of white pastries stacked in my hand. The top basket contained all kinds of pastries for Pharaoh, but the birds came and ate them from my basket on my head. This is what the dream means, Joseph told him. The 3 baskets also represent 3 days. 3 days from now, Pharaoh will lift you up and impale your body on a pole. Then birds will come and peck away at your flesh. Pharaoh's birthday came 3 days later, and he prepared a banquet for all his officials and staff. He summoned his chief cupbearer and chief baker to join the other officials. He then restored the chief cupbearer to his former position so he could again hand Pharaoh his cup. But Pharaoh impaled the chief baker just as Joseph had predicted when he interpreted his dream. Pharaoh's chief cupbearer, however, forgot all about Joseph, never giving him another thought. 2 full years later, Pharaoh dreamed that he was standing on the bank of the Nile River. In his dream, he saw 7 fat, healthy cows come up out of the river and began grazing in the marsh grass. Then he saw 7 more cows come up behind them from the Nile, but these were scrawny and thin. These cows stood behind the fat cows on the riverbank. Then the scrawny, thin cows ate the 7 healthy, fat cows. At this point in the dream, Pharaoh woke up, but he fell asleep again and he had a second dream. This time he saw 7 heads of grain, plump and beautiful, growing on a single stalk. Then 7 more heads of grain appeared, but these were shriveled and withered by the east winds, and these thin heads swallowed up the 7 plump, well-formed heads. Then Pharaoh woke up again and realized it was a dream. I remember this story now, but I'm not going to spoil it. The next morning, Pharaoh was very disturbed by the dream, so he called for all the magicians and wise men of Egypt. When Pharaoh told them his dreams, not one of them could tell him what they meant. Finally, the king's chief cupbearer spoke up. Today I have been reminded of my failure, he told Pharaoh. Some time ago, you were angry with the chief baker and me, and you imprisoned us in the palace of the captain of the guard. One night, the chief baker and I each had a dream, and each dream had its own meaning. There was a young Hebrew man with us in the prison who was a slave to the captain of the guard. We told him our dreams, and he told us what each of our dreams meant, and everything happened just as he had predicted. I was restored to my position as cupbearer, and the chief baker was executed and impaled on a pole. Pharaoh sent for Joseph at once, and he was quickly brought from the prison. After he shaved and changed his clothes, he went in and stood before Pharaoh. Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, I had a dream last night, and no one here can tell me what it means. But I have heard that when you hear about a dream, you can interpret it. It is beyond my power to do this, Joseph replied, but God can tell you what it means and set you at ease. I like the way he worded that. So like, even though he is technically like answering or like interpreting the dreams, he's like, well, I'm not really doing it, God's doing it, you know what I mean? He's like, I can't do that, God can do it. Now let me tell you what God said. Sometimes I wish I had a dream interpreter, because when I tell y'all I have the weirdest dreams, like literally, like I have the craziest dreams. One time I had a dream, I actually write them down in my phone, and one time I had this dream and it was so vivid. It was so vivid, and I don't believe in astrology or whatever, but I was like on this road, and I was like at like this party, like some crazy party, and I don't even party. Like I was at this crazy party, and I was like in this car, and I was laid back, like just having like a good old time. And I look out the window, and there's Saturn. And I don't know how it was Saturn, but I just knew it was Saturn. But it's not that it was just there, it was that it was so big. It was like, it was literally like maybe like, it's like if you look out your window, you know, like, I don't know how to explain it. Like literally it would be like if you looked out your window and you just saw the planet, you know what I mean? Like kind of, if you ever watched the 100, spoiler alert, if you've ever watched the new 100, it's kind of like whenever they're like in the new world and they look up and they see like the moons, like they're so freaking close. Like that's what it looked like. I wound up like Googling it or whatever, and I don't even remember what it said, but it freaked me out. And then I kind of felt like bad, 'cause I'm like, you know, you're not supposed to like believe in that kind of stuff. I don't think, like as a Christian, I don't think you're supposed to like do like astrology type things, because I think that's kind of like you're looking to like the stars and stuff for answers, and I don't think you're supposed to do that. I think you're supposed to like look to God for answers. But I think I had to, like there was no other option. Like it was so vivid and it was so crazy, and it was like calling me, like it was so weird. Like I still don't know what, I don't know what it was, you know what I mean? I still have no idea what it meant, but Saturn was in my dream. And then actually I googled Saturn, and it wasn't even, I don't even think it was Saturn. I think it was like a different planet, but like I just knew the name of the like the planet, you know what I mean? Like when I woke up I was like, oh my gosh, Saturn. It was so weird. But My point being, I wish Joseph was here. My stepdad's name is actually Joseph, but I wish the Joseph from the Bible was here so he could interpret my dream and tell me. But then again, maybe I don't want a dream interpreter, because what if the dream is like you're gonna get spiked and, you know what I mean, like put on a pole? I don't want that interpreter, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to know that. I know some people, maybe they do want to know. There's like a question like, would you rather know like when you're gonna die or how you're gonna die or something? I don't want to know either, you know what I mean? I don't want to know when I'm gonna die or how I'm gonna die. Like, you can keep all that information. Like, I will worry about it until it gets here. Like, keep it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even want it, dog. Am I the only one like that? I don't know, but I just don't know. So anyways, now we are on Matthew chapter 12 verse 46 through 13 verse 23, and we're gonna have a dance party till we find the verse. Dance party while we find the verse. Dance party while we find the verse. Dance party while we find the verse. Dance party.
I want to escape this crazy life. Yeah. Let me go this way, today is my day. God is taking place tonight. Let's all dance and make it.
Okay. Alright, Matthew. As Jesus was speaking to the crowd, oh, I think I know this one. Oh no. Okay. As Jesus was speaking to the crowd, his mother and brother stood outside asking to speak with him. Someone told Jesus, "Your mother and your brothers are standing outside and they want to speak to you." Jesus asked, "Who is my mother? Who are my brothers?" Then he pointed to his disciples and said, "Look, these are my mother and brothers. Anyone who does the will of my Father in heaven is my brother and sister and mother." Later that same day, Jesus left the house and sat beside the lake. A large crowd soon gathered around him, so he got into a boat. Then he sat there and taught as the people stood on the shore. He told many stories in the form of parables, such as this one. "Listen, a farmer went out to plant some seeds. As he scattered them across his field, some seeds fell on a footpath, and the birds came and ate them. Other seeds fell on shallow soil with underlying rock. The seeds sprouted quickly because the soil was shallow, but the plants soon wilted under the hot sun, and since they didn't have deep roots, they died. Other seeds fell among thorns that grew up and choked out the tender plants. Still, other seeds fell on fertile soil, and they produced a crop that was 30, 60, and even 100 times as much as had been planted. Anyone with ears to hear should listen and understand." His disciples came and asked him, "Why do you use parables when you talk to the people?" He replied, "You are permitted to understand the secrets of the kingdom of heaven, but others are not. To those who listen to my teaching, more understanding will be given, and they will have an abundance of knowledge. But for those who are not listening, even what little understanding they have will be taken away from them. That is why I use these parables. For they look, but they do not really see. They hear, but they don't really listen or understand. This fulfills the prophecy of Isaiah that says, 'When you hear what I say, you will not understand. When you see what I do, you will not comprehend. For the hearts of these people are hardened, and their ears cannot hear, and they have closed their eyes. So their eyes cannot see, and their ears cannot hear, and their hearts cannot understand, and they cannot turn to me and let me heal them. But blessed are your eyes because they see, and your ears because they hear. I tell you the truth, many prophets and righteous people long to see what you see, but they didn't see it, and they long to hear what you hear, but they didn't hear it." Now listen to the explanation of the parable about the farmer planting seeds. The seed that fell on the footpath represents those who hear the message about the kingdom and don't understand it. Then the evil one comes and snatches away the seed that was planted in their hearts. The seed on the rocky soil represents those who hear the message and immediately receive it with joy. But since they don't have deep roots, they don't last long. They fall away as soon as they have problems or are persecuted for believing God's word. The seed that fell among the thorns represent those who hear God's word, but all too quickly the message is crowded out by the worries of this life and the lure of wealth, so no fruit is produced. The seed that fell on good soil represents those who truly hear and understand God's word and produce a harvest of 36 or even 100 times as much as had been planted. I like that parable, but it kind of makes me sad to think like some people, you know, and I don't know that, I know we just read it, you know what I mean? But, sorry, my eyebrow looks really weird for some reason. These eyebrows, Sean, they stress me out. Listen, I just think though that I think it's easy whenever you like when you have God and you just like want everybody to know and you just want everybody to hear and you just want to tell everybody and like it's fine, you know what I mean? Like I get it. Like some people like they're not gonna understand it, and I get it because I've been there, you know what I mean? Like I literally was like such an atheist for no reason. Like I mean there was a reason, but like you know what I mean? Like I was such like, I mean I was like out here. I was like, there's no God. Like what are you talking about? Like dude, literally what are you talking about, bro? Like get out of my face. Like and it makes me sad to think that like there's people that just aren't gonna hear and they're just not gonna understand because they're just literally like closed off to it. And you know, and I don't even know if I believe that. I think that God can, you know, change people. He changed me, you know what I mean? I think though that you have to be willing maybe, but it does kind of make me sad. And also I pray that, you know, my seeds, I know a lot of times, you know, they talk about seeds, you know, with like money, and they talk about seeds, a lot of things, but I think, you know, he was just talking about seeds with like your faith. And when I think about that, like, I just, you know, really pray and like hope that I'm planting good soil, you know what I mean? I guess you can tell by like the fruits of your labor, you know, or your fruits. That's what he said, right? Like good trees and good people, like they produce good fruit, you know? And also I think sometimes it's hard to even tell if you have good fruit because you don't even, you know, I don't know, bro. I really like that. I like little parables though. Those are my favorite. Now we're on Psalm chapter 17, verses 1 through 15, and we're gonna have this. 21, find the verse, dance ready while you 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 find the verse. Listen, we're having a dance party, okay? I don't care. Dance, bitch. Welcome to my Christian channel. How are we all doing today? Everybody's doing good. You know what I mean? Not dance, bitch. Listen. It really be like that. You know what I mean? Like, you ever just get so mad? Like, I don't know if I'm the only one like this, but like, I really just, like, I'll be having a day. Like, I'll be really having a day, and I just want to tell people, like, like, you're speaking death, bitch. Like, stop. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, I'll be preaching. Not preaching, but I'll be, like, using shit that I learned in the Bible, but I'll be saying it in such, like, not the right way. And that's not how I'm supposed to talk, I don't think. But, like, I'll just be so over it. Like, you got me mad. Like, stop. Like, when you calm the fuck down, like, you're really out here speaking death, bitch. Like, chill out. Like, fuck. It's crazy, dog. It really is. I'm gonna have to bleep out so much of that. I'm sorry, y'all. It just really is what it is. You know what I mean? I don't know why. My necklace always winds up here at least once a day. It's really a mess. Listen. So this is a prayer of David. Oh Lord, hear my plea for justice. Listen to my cry for help. Pay attention to the prayer, for it comes from honest lips. Declare me innocent, for you see those who do right. You have tested my thoughts and examined my heart in the night. You have scrutinized me, and I found nothing wrong. I am determined not to sin in what I say. I have followed your commands, which keep me from following cruel and evil people. My steps have stayed on your path. I have not wavered from following you. I am praying to you because I know you will answer, O God. Bend down and listen as I pray. Show me your unfailing love in wonderful ways. By your mighty power, you rescue those who seek refuge from their enemies. Guard me as you would guard your own eyes. Hide me in the shadow of your wings. Protect me from wicked people who attack, from murderous enemies who surround me. They are without pity. Listen to their boasting. They track me down and surround me, watching for the chance to throw me to the ground. They are like hungry lions, eager to tear me apart, like your young lions hiding in ambush. Arise, O Lord, stand against them and bring them to their knees. Rescue me from the wicked with your sword. By the power of your hand, O Lord, destroy those who look to this world for their reward, but satisfy the hunger of your treasured ones. May their children have plenty, leaving an inheritance for their descendants. May your children have plenty, leaving an inheritance for their descendants. Because I am righteous, I will see you. When I awake, I will see you face to face and be satisfied. Bro, I love David. I really do. He has the best. Does he not have the best prayers though? Like, a lot of these psalms are, I think almost all of them that we read are prayers of David, and he just has like the best. He has the best prayers. Like, I could never pray like that. I mean, maybe I could, you know what I mean? I don't know, but I don't I don't right now. I don't currently, you know what I mean? Like, he's writing whole poems to God. Like, geez Louise. I talk to God like I'm talking to y'all. I really do. Like, I don't know. It's a mess, honestly. It really is. You know what I mean? Everything's a mess right now, to be honest. Like, my whole life's a mess, but it's fine. I don't know if you could tell, because I had a video go up at 8 this morning. I didn't think it went up at 8. I think it went at 11 this morning, but my whole life's a mess. How are you doing? But now that we're talking about the mess, we're going to, I gotta tell you the verse first, don't I? Proverbs chapter 3, verse 33 through 35. And now we're Lord curses the house of the wicked, but he blesses the home of the upright. The Lord mocks the mockers, but is gracious to the humble. The wise inherit honor, but fools are put to shame. And that's it. Proverbs are they're so short, but they're very powerful. You know what I mean? Like, how many sentences was that? That was 3 sentences. And in those 3 sentences, we're cursing the wicked, we're blessing the upright, we're mocking the mockers, we're gracing the humble, we're inheriting honor, and fools are being put to shame. So all y'all fools out there, listen. No, but for real, you know what I mean? Like, that's a lot in 3 little verses, or 3 little sentences. That's wild. That's really wild. This is really cute. I need to start coloring. Can you see it? You show me the way of life. I love this Bible. I think it's so cute. This is probably one of the best things. I buy a lot of things on Amazon. This is probably the best thing I've ever bought. But yeah, with that being said, I'm going to end this video. Oh, real quick. I misspoke yesterday. I know I said that it was, I think I said it was David's voice or something like that. It is Adam's voice. So this is a cute little shirt that I got yesterday. And I still haven't found them on Facebook. I was going to link them, but I couldn't find it. So, isn't that cute? It says, God colors the world through him. All things, what does it say? God colors the world, through him all things are made. Oh, God colors the world, through him all things were made. John 1-3. John 1:3. They were so cute. It's kind of soft. I don't really like soft things. All my t-shirts are kind of like rough. But, not rough, but like, you know, like regular, like material. But anyways, alright, I'm gonna end this. I love you. Jesus loves you. Bye.